Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're continuing our reading of Your Body's Many Cries for Water by Dr. B. I call him Dr. B because I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Anyways, the subtitle is You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Excuse me. Excuse me. Don't treat thirst with medication. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we begin, I just want to do a quick plug and then we'll jump right into the reading. If you find this valuable or find value in what we're doing, please consider joining our other book clubs. We have a spiritual book clubs on Mondays and then financial book clubs on Thursdays, where we read spiritual books and financial books. And then this book is falls under the category of health books. So we'll be for this particular category, we're reading health books. So join us on one or all or whatever. We put all our uh, book clubs that we've read in the past as well as the present on YouTube. So please check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of stuff on there, like the book clubs, and we have podcasts, and we're coming up with some new stuff that we're going to be putting out next year. So subscribe and share and like and all that good stuff. And join us in our community. If you have a book that you want to recommend for the book club to read, whether it's a spiritual book, a health book, or a financial book, I'll leave a link in the description box below and you can recommend it and we will consider it. So, this is a community that loves education, that loves to read, that loves to advance our knowledge. So yeah, come join us. We have a newsletter that we put out once a month for free. So please go to our website and sign up for that. We also have yeah, if you want to support us, which we hope you will, we appreciate that very, very much. You can buy me a coffee or check out our merch. We have new merch coming out, or new designs, I should say, coming out every month. So, especially with the Christmas holiday seasons, we've got holiday merch out already on the website. So check us out there. If you are, or you can give us, you can also donate to help us maintain these videos for free. So I appreciate that a lot too. And lastly, if you are in the LA area, consider joining us in person. We have a healing center that we put out. We use technologies based on Nikola Tesla's scalar wave research for holistic healing for both animals, cats and dogs, and humans. So read all about it. You could read all about it on our website. And join us in person if you are traveling to LA or if you are in the LA area. So, anyways, check us. I'll put all the links in the description box below. And you can check us out any which way you want. Join us any which way you want. Whatever tickles your fancy. Okay, so this is a book about water. This is inspired by fundamentals. Water is one of the building blocks of our physical life as we know it. One of the four or five, if you want to consider the fifth one. But the four main ones are water, air, earth, and fire. And the fifth one is ether. So I'm big on fundamentals. I think it's important to understand the fundamentals, or at least try to understand it, understand how it works, learn more about it. So you can, get an idea of how our world works and how to navigate through it. And eventually how to manifest. Because if you understand how the building block works, if you understand how the foundation works, then you understand how the system works. I don't know if that makes any sense, but Anyways, okay. Now this is chapter 12, and this is part one. So if you have a book, you could follow with us there. I'm just going to move the camera in a little bit closer so that you can see. Oop, the other way, Christina. If you have a book, you can follow with us with your book. If not, you can follow with us here on camera. And again, if you can't join us live, you can always catch us on YouTube. And we have a playlist of all the books that we read. So you can download it, listen to it while you're driving in traffic, when you're in the gym, when you're walking your dog, or whatever it is that you do. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Chapter 12, Salt and Exercise. Two ingredients for good health. Salt, the external medication. Salt is a vital substance for the survival of all living creatures, particularly humans, and especially people with asthma, allergies, and autoimmune disease. Salt is a medication used by healers throughout the ages. In certain cultures, salt is worth its weight in gold and is in fact exchanged weight for gold. In desert countries, people know that salt intake is their insurance for survival. To these people, salt mines are synonymous with gold mines. After many years of salt being badmouthed by ignorant health professionals and their media parrots, the importance of salt as a dietary supplement is once again being acknowledged and recognized. I was one of the early voices to bring about this change. I, as in the author. Okay, water, salt, and potassium together regulate the water content of the body. Water regulates the water content of the interior of the cell by working its way into all the cell it reaches. It has to get there to cleanse and extract the toxic waste of cell metabolism. Once water gets into the cells, the potassium in the cells holds onto it and keeps it there. Even in the plant kingdom, it is potassium in the fruit that gives it firmness by holding water in the interior of the fruit. Our daily food contains ample potassium from its natural sources of fruits and vegetables, but not salt from its natural source. That is why we need to add salt to our daily diet. Salt forces some water to keep it company outside the cells. Osmotic retention of water by salt. It balances the amount of water that is held outside the cells. Basically, there are two oceans of water in the body. One ocean is held inside the cells of the body, and the other ocean is held outside the cells. As within, so without, right? Like the Hermetic principle. Good health depends on a delicate balance between the volumes of these two oceans. This balance is achieved by the regular intake of water, potassium-rich fruits and vegetables that also contain the vitamin needs of the body, and salt. Unrefined sea salt, which contains some of the other minerals that the body needs, is preferable. When water is not available to get into the cells freely, it is filtered from the outside salty ocean and injected into the cells that are being overworked despite their water shortage. This secondary emergency means of supplying important cells with injected water is the reason in severe dehydration that we develop edema and retain water. The design of our bodies is such that the extent of the ocean of water outside the cells is expanded to have extra water available for filtration and emergency injection into vital cells. The brain commands an increase in salt and water retention by the kidneys. This directive of the brain is the reason we get edema when we don't drink enough water. When water shortage in the body reaches a more critical level and delivery of water by its injection into the cells becomes the main route of supply to more and more cells, an associated rise in injection pressure becomes necessary. The significant rise in pressure needed to inject water into the cells becomes measurable and is labeled hypertension. Initially, the process of water filtration and its delivery into the cells is more efficient at night when the body is horizontal. The collected water, which settles mostly in the legs during the day, does not have to does not have to fight the force of gravity to get into the blood circulation when the body is horizontal. If reliance on this process of emergency hydration of some cells continues for long, the lungs get waterlogged at night and breathing becomes difficult. The person needs more pillows to sit upright to sleep. This condition is called cardiac asthma, and it is the consequence of dehydration. However, in this condition, you must not overload the system by drinking too much water at the beginning. Increases in water intake must be slow and spaced out until urine production begins to increase at the same rate that you drink water. When we drink enough water to pass clear urine, we also pass out a lot of the salt that was held back. This is how we can get rid of edema fluid from the body by drinking more water. Not diuretics, but more water. Water is the best natural diuretic that exists. In a person who has extensive edema and whose heart sometimes has irregular and very rapid beats with little effort, the increase in water intake should be gradual and spaced out. But water should not be withheld from the body. Salt intake should be limited for 2 or 3 days because the body is still in an overdrive mode to retain it. Once the edema has cleared up, salt should not be withheld from the body. Salt, some of its hidden miracles. Salt has many other functions than just regulating the water content of the body. Here are some of its additional important functions in the body. Salt is a strong natural antihistamine. It can be used to relieve asthma by putting it on the tongue after drinking a glass or two of water. It is as effective as um, it is as effective as an inhaler. Boy, I'm having trouble reading today without the toxicity. Maybe I need more coffee. No, I don't. Okay, you should drink 1 or 2 glasses of water before putting salt on the tongue. Salt is a strong anti-stress element for the body. Salt is vital for extracting excess acidity from inside the cells, particularly the brain cells. If you don't want Alzheimer's disease, don't go salt-free and don't let your doctor put you on diuretic medications for long. Salt is vital for the kidneys to clear excess acidity and to pass the acidity into the urine. Without sufficient salt in the body, the body will become more and more acidic. And again, just a side note, the body needs to be alkaline in order to fight any kind of disease. So any kind of diseases, whether it's chronic or acute, whether it's cancer, arthritis, asthma, Magellan, whatever disease, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, the body they cannot live in an alkaline body. So if you keep your body alkaline, you drastically reduce your chances of getting sick, which means eating more alkaline food, drinking alkaline water, keeping your body alkaline. Salt is essential in the treatment of emotional and affective disorders. Lithium is a salt substitute that is used in the treatment of depression. To prevent suffering from depression, make sure you take some salt. Salt is essential for preserving the serotonin and melatonin levels in the brain. When water and salt perform their natural antioxidant duties and clear the toxic waste from the body, amino acids, Essential amino acids such as tryptophan and tyrosine will not be sacrificed as chemical antioxidants. In a well-hydrated body, tryptophan is spared and gets into the brain tissue, where it is used to manufacture serotonin, melatonin, and tryptamine, essential antidepressant neurotransmitters. Salt, in my opinion, is vital for the prevention and treatment of cancer. Cancer cells are killed by oxygen. Another side note, there are oxygen therapies out there. You could probably search the internet if you want to do a little deep dive research, rabbit hole research. And there are businesses that utilize oxygen therapy or oxygen chamber. I don't remember the exact name that they use, but just you can Google oxygen therapy and see what comes up. So, anyways, there are treatments out there for that. Okay, they are anaerobic organisms. Another side note, there are also waters uh, companies that sell water with oxygen, and I don't remember one off the top of my head, but you can again Google it, oxygen water or something like that, and see what pops up. So. Okay, they must live in a low oxygen environment. When the body is well hydrated and salt expands the volume of blood circulation to reach all parts of the body, the oxygen and the active and motivated immune cells in the blood reach the cancerous tissue and destroy it. Dehydration, shortage of water and salt, suppresses the immune system and its disease fighting cells' activity in the body. Salt is vital for maintaining muscle tone and strength. Lack of bladder control in those who suffer from involuntary leakage of urine could be a consequence of low salt intake. The following letter from Dudley Reed in her 60s speaks volumes. It shows how salt intake helped her get over her problem of involuntary leakage of urine. I print this letter here to share with millions of senior citizens the good news that adequate salt intake can possibly save them from the embarrassment of having to constantly wear pads. So here is the letter dated November 27, 1999, and it reads, Dear Dr. B, June 25th, 1999. I had to go home from work because the pain in my knee became unbearable. I was staying in bed a lot as it was too painful to try to walk. Thank God, Global Health Solutions got my name and address from somewhere, and I got your book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water, and tapes. By July 3rd, 1999, I decided to try and walk around the block. I made it, and July 4th, 1999, I walked 6 blocks to church. On July 5th, 1999, I rode 7 hours, only stopping twice to use the restroom. I have a very weak bladder and had even taken spare clothing as I was sure they would be needed. I arrived with not a drop of anything on my clothing, and for the first time in my life, I was not tired, and I even took a walk before I went to bed. I was very thin and was limited on what I could eat. Suddenly, I find I'm eating things I have not eaten in years: peaches, cantaloupe, watermelon, tomatoes, pineapple, and even sweets, and I was enjoying them with no side effects. I had I had not been drinking anything but water for years, but I had talked myself off salt, a bad mistake. My muscles were really screaming as well as many parts of my body. I still have problems to be worked out, but I'm learning how to listen to my own body, and I hope to see the day I won't have any more problems with gas, digestion, circulation, and allergies. I can truthfully say most days I do feel better than I have in many years, and I can never thank you enough for your help. May God bless you as you try to help those He has placed on this earth. Gratefully yours, Dudley Reed. Wow, that's an amazing letter. That is incredible. Lots of hope for seniors, right? Senior citizens. Okay, salt is effective in stabilizing irregular heartbeats, and contrary to the belief that it causes high blood pressure, it is actually essential for the regulation of blood pressure in conjunction with water. Naturally, the proportions are critical. A low salt diet with high water intake will, in some people, actually cause blood pressure to rise. As a secondary complication, it can also cause asthma like shortness of breath. The logic is simple. If you drink water and do not take salt, the water will not stay in the blood circulation adequately to completely fill all the blood vessels. In some, this will cause fainting, and in some, it will cause tightening of the arteries, and eventually constriction of bronchioles in the lungs to the point of registering a rise in blood pressure, complicated by breathlessness. 1 or 2 glasses of water and a little salt on the tongue will quickly and efficiently quiet a racing and thumping heart, and in the long run will reduce blood pressure and cure breathlessness. Salt is vital for sleep regulation. It is a natural hypnotic. If you drink a full glass of water and then put a few grains of salt on your tongue and let it stay there, you will fall into a natural deep sleep. Don't use salt on your tongue unless you drink water. Repeated use of salt by itself might cause nosebleeds. Another tip to help you sleep is to eat a cup of plain yogurt before bedtime. Salt is a vitally needed element in the treatment of diabetics. It helps balance the sugar levels in the blood and reduces the need for insulin in those who have to inject the chemical to regulate their blood sugar levels. Water and salt reduce the extent of secondary damage associated with diabetes. Salt is vital for the generation of hydroelectric energy in all the cells in the body. It is used for local power generation at the sites of energy needed by the cells. Salt is vital to the communication and information processing of nerve cells the entire time that the brain cells work, from the moment of conception to death. Salt is vital for the absorption of food particles through the intestinal tract. Salt is vital for clearing the lungs of mucus plugs and sticky phlegm, particularly in asthma, emphysema, and cystic fibrosis sufferers. Salt on the tongue will help persistent dry coughs. Salt is vital for clearing up catarrh, and sinus congestion. Salt is vital for the prevention of gout and gouty arthritis. Salt is essential for the prevention of muscle cramps. Salt is vital in preventing excess saliva production to the point that it flows out of the mouth during sleep. Needing to constantly mop up excess saliva indicates salt shortage. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. That's very interesting, huh? Osteoporosis is the result of salt and water shortage in the body. Salt is absolutely vital in making the structure of bones firm. Salt is vital for maintaining self-confidence and a positive self-image, a serotonin and melatonin controlled personality output. Sex, sorry, sorry about that. Okay, salt is vital for maintaining sexuality and libido. That's funny. My eyes caught the sexuality part. Wow. Okay. Salt is vital for reducing a double chin. Oh, I didn't know that. When the body is short of salt, it means the body really is short of water. The salivary glands sense the salt shortage and are obliged to produce more saliva to lubricate the act of chewing and swallowing, and also to supply the stomach with water that it needs for breaking down food. Circulation to the salivary glands increases, and the blood vessels become leaky in order to supply the glands with more water to manufacture saliva. This leakiness spills to areas beyond the glands themselves, causing increased bulk under the skin of the chin, the leaks, and into the deck. Salt is vital for preventing varicose veins and spider veins on the legs and thighs. Sea salt contains about 80 mineral elements that the body needs. Some of these elements are needed in trace amounts. Unrefined sea salt is a better choice of salt than any other type of salt on the market. Ordinary table salt has been stripped of its companion elements and contains additives such as aluminum silicate to make it powdery and porous. Aluminum is a very toxic element in our nervous system. It is implicated as one of the primary causes of Alzheimer's disease. And just a side note, aluminum is everywhere. So, like in our deodorant, in our pots and pans. Sometimes I read when I was detoxing my kitchen, uh, I was really trying to read all the website and what they have and things like that. And some of them they might have aluminum in there, especially the non-stick pans. They might have aluminum in there that they don't even tell you about. They just say, "Oh, how great it is." Of course they're going to say that it's great. It's their product. They're not going to say, "Oh, my product sucks," right? They're going to say, "Yeah, it's great. Buy it." So, you really have to do your homework, I think. And then, aluminum cans, soup cans and things like that. There's just aluminum everywhere. Anyways, and tap water and things like that. Okay, as much as salt is good for the body in asthma, excess potassium is bad for it. Too much orange juice, too many bananas, or any sports drink containing too much potassium might precipitate an asthma attack, particularly if too much of the drink or too many bananas are taken before exercising. Excess potassium can cause an exercise-induced asthma attack. To prevent such attacks, some salt intake before exercise will increase the lungs' capacity for air exchange. It will also decrease excess sweating. It is a good policy to add some salt to orange juice to balance the actions of sodium and potassium in maintaining the required volume of water inside and outside the cells. In some cultures, salt is added to melon and other fruits to accentuate their sweetness. In effect, these fruits contain mostly potassium. By adding salt to them before eating, a balance between the intake of sodium and potassium results. The same should be done to other juices. I received a call one day from one of the readers of my book to tell me how he had unwittingly hurt his son. Knowing that orange juice was full of vitamin C and sugar, just a side note, and sugar, there's a lot of sugar in those, by the way. He forced his son to drink several glasses of it every day. In the meantime, the young boy developed breathing problems and had a number of asthma attacks until he reached college and moved out of the sphere of influence of his father. His asthma cleared and his breathing became normal. The father told me he had to call his son and apologize for having given him such a hard time when he was younger. The more the son had rebelled against orange juice, the more the father had insisted he should take it, convinced a large amount was good for him. As a rough rule of thumb, you need about 3 grams of salt, half a teaspoon for every 10 glasses of water, or a quarter teaspoon per quart of water. You should take salt throughout the day. If you exercise and sweat, you need more salt. In hot climates, you need to take even more salt. In these climates, salt makes the difference between survival and better health and heat exhaustion and death. Warning, you must at the same time not overdo salt. You must observe the ratio of salt and water needs of the body. You must always make sure you drink enough water to wash the excess salt out of the body. If your weight suddenly goes up in one day, you have taken too much salt. Hold back on salt intake for one day and drink plenty of water to increase your urine output and get rid of your swelling. Those in heart failure or kidney failure needing dialysis must consult with their doctors before increasing their salt intake. If you begin to drink water according to my protocol, you might also benefit from taking a 1 a day vitamin tablet daily, particularly if you do not exercise or eat hearty portions of vegetables and fruits. Meat and fish proteins are good sources of selenium and zinc. Excuse me, I burped. If you are under stress and until it is over, you might consider adding some vitamin B6 and zinc to your diet in addition to what is available in the vitamin tablets. If you suffer from cold sores, herpes simplex virus on the lips and even in the eyes, or genital herpes, make sure you add zinc and vitamin B6 to your diet. Your viral source may be the result of zinc deficiency and its associated complications. A salt-free diet is utterly stupid. Salt is a most essential ingredient of the body. In order of importance, oxygen, water, salt, and potassium rank as the primary elements for the survival of the human body. Pliny, or Pliny, I don't know however you pronounce that, around AD 75 called salt, quote, foremost among human remedies. He was right. You see, about 27% of the salt content of the body is stored in the bones in the form of crystals. It is said that salt crystals are naturally used to make bones hard, not calcium. Interesting, eh? Just a side note, they were touting calcium because of the milk mafia cartel or the milk industrial cartel. However you say it, it's all about propaganda. They they take one fault they take one premise, whether it's true or false, they don't care. What they care is to make profit and make money. Interesting, huh? Mm. Thus, salt deficiency in the body also could be responsible for the development of osteoporosis. Salt will be taken out of the bones to maintain its vital normal levels in the blood. So the premise that milk is good for the bones is false, according to this author, right? Hmm. Low salt intake contributes to a buildup of acidity in some cells. High acidity in the cells can damage their DNA structure and be the initiating mechanism for cancer formation in some cells. Experiments have shown that quite a number of cancer patients show low salt levels in their body. My book, Obesity, Cancer, and Depression, explains in detail the importance of function of water and salt in cancer prevention. All right, we will stop there for now. What an interesting, vital uh, chapter on salt, isn't it? Another thing about salt is that it's important to take salt baths because this your skin is the biggest organ in your body. And when you take salt baths, it washes away all the negative energies, dirty energies, lower vibrational energies, and it keeps you clean, it keeps you happy, it keeps your vibration high, and it's like an energetic cleansing. So, we take showers every day. Well, not every day. You don't have to take it every day, but anyways, that's probably a myth too. Um, but we take showers to clean our physical body. We take salt baths to clean our energy, emotional, mental, and energy body. So, especially if you're dealing a lot with people, it's important to take salt baths on a regular basis because what you're doing is you're absorbing other people's problems. Your body does, not just your energy body, but your physical body and emotional body and mental body absorbs other people's uh, physical ailments, emotional ailments, mental, stuff. And if you think about it, if you interact with people 10, 20, 30 people a day, you're absorbing all their, physical junk and emotional junk and mental junk. So it's important to keep yourself clean and wash it away, clean it out. Like, you know, if you don't have a bathtub, you can do salt scrubs. Health food stores have salt scrubs with essential oils. So with a bathtub, you can use you put warm water, a pound or two of sorry, a cup or two of salt. You can use Epsom salt or sea salt. It doesn't have to be expensive because what you're really doing when you take a salt bath is taking out the garbage. You're in your on your aura, on your energy body, on your body. So you don't need expensive salt. So put a cup or two of salt in the bathtub with maybe 10 to 15 drops of essential oils. Could be tea tree or lavender, and soak for 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes to half an hour, and then just shower it off and wash it off. Uh, you could do it once a week or more if you have to. And you can tell, your body can tell if it's like if it's real sticky, if you need a bath, you could tell, your body can tell. But anyways, just a suggestion there. And salt is super important. And then I use salt in my laundry as well. So that cleans up because not only your body absorbs all the negative stuff, your clothing does too. So I put a handful of salt in the wash cycle, and it just cleans it out. Okay, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. And we will continue our reading next time. In the meantime, I hope you guys all have a great day, great afternoon, great evening, great week, wherever you guys are. Okay, bye bye now.